Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So as you guys have been following, I'm nearing recovery of my long COVID symptoms. I had early satiety syndrome. I didn't know this was even a thing until I developed it after recovering from COVID-19. At first, I thought it was just my mental health. I was recovering and I was stressed out, but it is a thing. Now, I live in Phoenix, Arizona right now. I moved here from Seattle about a year ago. Phoenix has a much higher obesity rate than Seattle. I almost didn't notice it until I recently. What's really frustrating is when you lose your appetite, whether it be due to illness or stress, and you go out and you watch people gorge themselves, and you start noticing how overweight people are. That hits you like a rock in the head. It's very insulting almost. Now, a lot of people over the last few weeks, when I've been talking about my symptoms, their knee-jerk reaction, even if they don't say it out loud, they show it. Oh, I wish I could have that problem. Yeah. Do you also wish that you would be so poor you couldn't afford your food? I mean, this is the health equivalent of that, right? I'm too health poor to be able to afford to eat, right? Do you wish that? I don't think anybody would wish that on their worst enemy, but whatever the situation is. But we live in a land of excess. To give you an idea, I teach at a community college. I'm in the library right now, actually. And yesterday, I had a little bit of a frustration with one of the students. Not necessarily at the student herself, but what had happened was one of my students is juggling 3 jobs and coming to school. And I look at her and she has let's just say she has an excessive lifestyle. I'd rather her get rid of one of those jobs and get rid of the stress spending. And she'd probably have more money in her pocket and less stress and be able to actually do her homework. I didn't tell her that, obviously, but in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. But you know what? We live in a country where the number on your paycheck really is your identity, right? She would rather make more, even if it causes her to stress spend all that extra money and get a D in her class and whatever the situation is, right? And then I drive on the road and people are just driving like a maniac to nowhere. I mean, in order to work 3 jobs so they could waste all their money on their beautiful new cars that they could race around and get into an accident and end up in the hospital and not be able to pay the medical bill and then have to work 5 jobs to pay it off, right? That's the lifestyle we live, unfortunately. Stop! But my experience with long COVID really opened my eyes to all that. It makes me want to move to Poland now more than ever. All right, this is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.